want to have fun.
What's up, everybody? It is your boy Joe Hundo. This is The Narrative TV, and today the narrative that we're going to talk about is Tia Kemp, aka Rick Ross's baby mama, aka Tia Kemp. She is setting the internet on fire. Every time she turns her phone on, she's going hammer. And she's exposing whatever she's exposing. Rick Ross is a pillow talker. She's talking about that. She's doing a lot of yapping. And it's very funny because she don't give a damn. And 14 years ago, she was a lot humbler. Put it like that. She was a lot humbler. She didn't have the veneers. She had a little bob that had a little tilt on it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't here to hate or clown, but 14 years ago, she was a little humbler. She had less money. And honestly, 14 years ago, I was a little humbler. You know what I'm saying? So I can relate. We all were humbler 14 years ago. Humbler is the word of the day if you ain't paying attention. But I got to do my homework. I got to do my research on everything because I'm like, who is she? Okay, she Rick Ross' baby mama. Their son together, I believe he's 18. His name is William Leonard Roberts III. Fun fact, Rick Ross' real name is not Rick Ross. It's William Leonard Robert II. William Leonard Roberts III is headed to HBCU. Shout out to Bethune-Cookman. Shout out to that young man. Shout out to that young man's family and his mother and father. Rick Ross and Tia Kemp, they did it. Regardless if it was on, I went and did my homework. Rick Ross definitely chilled out a few months paying child support here and there. The fraternity of the son was in question whether it was the troll or not. But Tia Kemp stood in the paint by her shit and made Buddy go get a paternity test. And I wanted to tap into just that era, that time frame, because this narrative that's going on right now about her just getting on the internet being quote unquote unhinged is not true. These folks have history. They're lovers. So only God knows what they have going on internally. So what I did was I found an article from XXL. I dropped the link in the description, and it pretty much is her she's on a book tour. Okay. And this book tour was initiated by none other than the villain of all villains, the heel of all heels, that boy 50 Cent. In 2009, a little more of the narrative that's kind of blurred here, right? 50 Cent did not reach out to Rick Ross's baby mama. Rick Ross's baby mama was digging. She had her lawyers reach out to 50cent.com. This is 50.com, excuse me, back in the day. Her lawyers reached out to 50cents.com. Long story short, they knew what they was doing and how to reach who they needed to reach. 50 wanted to interview her. He flew out to New York. One of the first things that she says that she wanted to do was discuss her book. She had a quote-unquote tell-all book about Rick Ross. 50 Cent, you know, him being the villain that he is, he was all fucking ears. A week later, he got her a book deal. And that book deal led her to the book called Tia's Diary, Deeper Than Rap, Clarity, Truth, and Exposure. She has a book. Well, it's a hole in her management because one thing she's not doing is displaying that book every time she turn her goddamn phone on. Every time she has her phone on, she should be waving that book in front of it because she's going viral every time she turns the phone on. So in this book, her book just pretty much explains that she was in love with a very savvy drug dealer. She was a young mother, young wife to this drug dealer. We already know how the story go. Feds came through, kicked in the door, took the husband away. He had to serve a full 5 years in prison. Rick Ross sees her, buys her a drink, gives her the phone number. They have a few dates at a strip club. The rest is history. Let's get to the interview for 2009. I'm going to read this interview word for word because we want this to get on the internet. No one's going to look up an old ass XXL magazine article except for your boy Joe Hundo, because I'm going to always do my research and I'm going to always provide the information that need to be provided. So I'm going to read questions that XXLmag.com asked, and I'll read her response. When 50 Cent and G Unit first approached you about working with you on your autobiography, how did you feel? Could you believe it? What did you think? I think it was great. It wasn't a surprise. I already had it in mind when I spoke with my attorney and she told me they wanted to do an interview. I said to myself, I'm hoping when I get up there that I can meet 50 and I'll let him know that I would like to write a book. And soon as I told him, he made it happen. Have you heard from Ross about the book at all? Have you heard from him at all since you flew up to New York for the first interview with 50? I haven't heard anything from him. You know, he's doing interviews saying he anticipated all of this. I spoke with him. He's doing interviews saying that he spoke with me when I was flying up to New York. Ross was telling a whole bunch of lies. I haven't even spoke with him or saw him personally since the day that he stole the truck during the deposition. I'm texting him, letting him know that his son wants to talk to him and wants to visit him. He doesn't respond. I called him. He doesn't answer. I haven't heard anything from him or his mother or anyone. And if I haven't ever received child support from him in the past 2 months, he just stopped paying his child support all of a sudden. I think that he's that angry with me and that he went to that extent. And I haven't even received child support from him in the past 2 months. He just stopped paying his child support all of a sudden. And I think that he's angry with me that he went to that extent. And what does your lawyer say about that? Right now, she's filing motions for certain things because it's a legal process. She can't just believe it. I just spoke with her the other day to see what was going on, to see if she's heard anything from them, and she said she spoke with Ross's attorney, and his attorney said that he hasn't spoken with Ross in a while. So he's trying to connect either Ross or his mom to see what's going on, but we haven't heard anything from them. So right now she's trying to file a few motions to get a court date really soon for temporary release just because he's in default or whatever we're in and trying to get this case settled. But I haven't heard anything from him or saw him at all since he stole the truck. Not a word. He doesn't want to see his son. He doesn't want to talk to him. He doesn't want to see him. He doesn't want to talk to me. I really don't care to see him or talk to him, but hey, don't take it out on your child. He has nothing to do with this. And Ross is saying in interviews that it's about business, getting money. So hey, that's all I want to tell him. Didn't you say it's about business? I'm trying to get some money. So why are you upset for it? Let me do my thing, you know? What were some of the things you learned while writing a book about yourself or the process? Well, I learned that you go through a lot of things for a reason. Sometimes you go through things in life because it helps you become a better person. So I just feel like I overcame my challenges, and that's why I'm where I'm at today. If I had went through those things I went through, I wouldn't be here writing this book. Through your depiction of Ross in your interviews you have done in your excerpts of your book, you have made Ross seem like a fake character. Would you say that's true? Yeah, of course. He's a big character. He's false. He's fake, you know? He's just good at writing. It's only fair that he's good at what he does. But as far as him living those, no, going through the things he's rapping about, it's not true. Of course he know people in the neighborhood that went through those things, and he saw those things, and he has friends whose dad who was drug dealers, and some people that he knew from this era that was into gangs and drugs and things like that. But Ross never did these things. To tell you the truth, he's rapping somebody else's life and actually is one of his friends. And I'm hearing that him and this person are not speaking to this day because of that. But of course, he's a big fake. He's a big lie. You can't believe anything that comes out of his mouth at this point. Nothing. With that in mind, how do you feel that Ross's album, Deeper Than Rap, is #1? I always wish him success on his album because I would benefit from it as well, you know. I'm receiving child support, so I'm happy that his album does well. But to tell you the truth, I haven't even heard his album. I just heard the singles and they've been playing on the radio and that's it. But I haven't heard it, so I can't judge it. Since you did the interview with thisis50.com and on Shade 45 with all of this, what has the response been like for you from the public and from the people that you know? They knew my word was going to be heard sooner or later. They didn't know how or if it was going to be with 50 or who, but they knew it because of a lot of people knew what I was going through with him. And people that don't know me are still binging me up today because they feel that he's fake. I've been getting a good response from a lot of people. I haven't got any negative responses from anyone, period. Has anyone recognized you when you go out? Yeah, I've been getting responses from people I don't know. When I go out, they're like, you're the girl that's writing the book. You're the girl on the internet with 50. They really recognize you? Yeah. Wherever I go, they know who I am. What do you think your ultimate goal with the book is, and did you achieve it? Was it to tell your story? Was it for any kind of revenge on Ross? Do you think your goal was to make money? Actually, I won't say it's sort of revenge or whatever. I think my goal was to let my word be heard. I think it was just me. I mean, you learn to destroy your enemies by opening holes in their reputation. So that's how I'm trying to destroy it. I'm opening up a hole in its own reputation, And right now I feel like he's my enemy. He doesn't want to see me prosper. He doesn't want to see me with anything, So here it is. It's my job to let my words be heard. Have you been in court a lot since you've been working on the book? Has anything new happened? Did they try to stop you from doing the book? No, but Ross has requested a gag order after he found out that 50 had a copy of Ross's deposition, but when we went to the hearing for the gag order, they didn't grant it, and then after that, we finally got Ross to agree to the DNA test. So we went to did the DNA test, and that was it. We haven't been back to court since. The DNA was to prove paternity on him being the father. Yes, that is the father of William III, which he knew already. Yes, of course, he knew as well. That's why he didn't want to do it. I think it was just kind of an embarrassment to him, That's why he didn't. So you got it confirmed official, so y'all have to forget about all that other stuff. Right. Anything else you want to add? I'm just hoping that this will open up eyes to a lot of young women or single women that's going through a lot of things with their children's father. And sometimes it's not about who has the money and who's seen on TV and who's the biggest boss and this and that. It's about who can be the best dad, because at the end of the day, it's just about who's the better dad. So that's the only thing that I'm stressing right now is some men need to be better dads to their children, regardless of what they're going through with their mothers. The child has nothing to do with that. Take care of your kids.
Cable dogs. Yeah. All right.